And our teacher tonight is Mr. Kuruma Eliastati. And quickly, as we've gone down with the time, I'll turn the mic over to my tutor tonight to actually tell listeners and viewers that he is with us in the studio tonight. Mr. Kuruma, good evening and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for hosting me.
All right, viewers and listeners, he's Mr. Kuruma, and he's not a stranger again in the show, and also in Kenema City. Keep on popping your messages. The numbers are 079 That's for WhatsApp, and 078 That's for the hard normal number, or 088 or 031 or via Facebook on Jrst Aruna Mohamed. In that light, I now turn the mic over to Mr. Kuruma. Mr. Kuruma,
Yeah.
um, briefly before we start, uh, we are beginning the tutorials tonight, and like I said, our topic has to be Land of the Jewel,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
All right, maybe after the tutorials, then we may come into that. So you have the floor.
Thank you very much. I feel pleased anyway. And today, our listeners and viewers are going to, get another part of me. Of course, under normal circumstances, I would come here to discuss English language, and today I am here for literature in English, which is one of those subjects that students find very difficult. But today's discourse will not be focused on every other aspect of the literature in English, but rather will be focused on The Lion and the Jewel, written by Wole Soyinka, who is one of the best writers Africa can boast of. He's a very fine writer that has, authored many poems and books and so. So his book appearing on the list of those books that students are expected to offer is actually not, something surprising to some of us because he's a very, very prolific writer. So to make this discourse very nice so that our students out there will understand the book itself, I have decided to actually, first of all, look at the plot summary of the whole book. Yes, or basically give a list of the characters in the book so that our viewers and listeners will understand that these are the people and these are their roles, and later give a plot summary of the whole book. Then I shall look at the themes if there's time for that. I shall also look at the languages used in the book, and then of course some critical things, the importance of each of the okay, events that unfold in the book. So let me start with the characters. Of course, the book actually has four main characters, those that actually play pivotal role. I'm pretty sure. We have Lankoli, who is a school teacher, somebody that has indoctrinated himself in with Western education to the extent he doesn't have value for the African tradition. He doesn't have respect for the people, including the person he says he wants. So that's one of the characters. Another character is Sedi. Okay, some will call it Sidi, who is a female character that whose face appear on a magazine, and then because of that she sees herself as the most important somebody in Ilonjoli village. She sees herself very important, and because of that she does not want to get herself involved in any mess. She does not want to see herself ridiculed or whatsoever. So she's a woman that believes in herself and that believes that the tradition must be followed, and she does not feel safe having sex with another man after she had already gotten sex with another person. She does not feel safe with that. That is seen in the last part of the book. And Sedi to me is one of the best characters in the book, because her role in the book sends out a very clear picture of the resilience in women, the steadfastness in women. You know, Sedi is a woman that is wanted by Baroka, who is the bail of Ilunjoli, and this village teacher who is not ready to pay Sedi's bride price. And to Sedi, the bride price is a must. And irrespective of the fact that, because in the book, if you go through the book, you find out that Sedi actually loves Lankuli. But however, she is not ready to get married to Lankuli if Lankuli is not willing to pay the bride price, which Lankuli objects completely throughout the book. In fact, when Sedi mistakenly, okay, because to me it's a mistake, after the bail, Baroka uses his brain to fool his first wife, who is Sadiku, okay, who is Sadiku, to go tell. Of course, he actually does not plan or does not intend to tell that woman to go tell the teacher Sedi that he is impotent. But because he knows that Sedi is a woman that does not in any way keep secrets, he uses that means to tell Sadiku that he is impotent, and if Sedi has toned down his proposal, then it is a rejection on the right time. Okay, so because Sedi is somebody that does not in any way, you know, keep secrets, she goes on to tell. Sadiku is a person that does not keep secret in any way. She goes on to tell Sedi, and Sedi, like any other woman would have done, decides to go to Baroka, who is somebody he says is very old, above 60. Say, you know what? I am going to ridicule that man. I'm going to scoff him. So she decides to go, and as smart as the guy is, he ends up, convincing her to accept having sex with her, because that's it. After a series of words, convincing words, questions and answer session between them, she quietly has her head on the man's, shoulder, and later we just see her coming out of the room, going to where Sadiku and others are, and then crying, being very, very defensive that Sadiku should not touch her, and Lankuli also should not touch her. That's another character, Sedi. There's Baroka, whom I have said is the pale in the play. And also, there is Sadiku, of course, who is the first wife of the Bail, Baroka. But there's one thing I want us to understand. The Ilunjoli society holds the belief that it is a custom that the last wife of the Bail shall become the first wife of the one that succeed him. So automatically, it is very, very clear that this woman, Sadiku, is the stepmother of Baroka, because Sadiku was the last wife of Baroka's father, Okiki, the last wife. So these are the characters. Of course, we have some flat characters, some minor characters, like the favorite, like the wrestler, of course, the drummers, the dancers, and so on. These are flat characters. They have little or no role they play. Okay, their roles are not as important as compared to the ones whose names I have mentioned already. Okay, and then now to the plot summary. The book actually narrates in a dramatic form. It brings to light in a dramatic form a battle for supremacy. To me, it's a battle of supremacy between modernity and tradition. It is because in the play, the playwright Soyinka uses a very unique character, but very rude as well. To me, very rude, Lankoli, to represent the Western culture. He uses Lankoli to represent the Western culture. Somebody that has gotten education and has decided to come home to serve his people, but in the process sees a woman he wants to get married to, but unfortunately is not willing to pay the bride price of the woman. So the woman who is Sedi becomes very defensive. She becomes very defensive, to the extent that she keeps on reiterating the importance of the bride price and telling Lankoli that she will only accept Lankoli's proposal if Lankoli is willing to pay her bride price. There's no instance in the book that the woman says even if Lankoli pays her bride price, she will not get married to Lankoli. There's no instance in the book. This speaks volume of the fact that she is somebody that is actually willing to get married to Lankoli, provided Lankoli is willing to pay the bride price. But because of Lankoli's belief that if a bride price is paid for a woman, that woman automatically becomes the satchel of the man, the personal property of the man. She becomes like a slave to the man. He decides not to pay the fee at all. That's his decision, to pay the bride price, because he does not want Lankoli Sedi to appear as if she is a commodity. He does not want that. He does not want Lankoli to appear, Sedi to appear as if she is a commodity. So him paying the bride price of a woman is tantamount to, is equal to commodifying women. So throughout the book, he becomes very defensive. But something happens in the book, the coming of a white man, which is brought to us through a flashback technique. Although the play is acted, the characters that participate, that were at the scene, are mimicked through through Sedi, Baroka, Lankuli, and a host of others. And the book, when the white man came, or the person, the white man came, it becomes very clear that they become very committed. They become very attracted to the man. And when the man sees Sedi looking, beautiful, and so performing extremely well, dancing beautifully, he would stand at any moment to take very good shots of Sedi. And he returns after some amount of humiliations, because in the book they tell us he falls whilst admiring or whatsoever. Later he decides to come back. Okay, and this time he comes with the magazine. He comes with the magazine that contains the face of CD. CD now on the cover page, and this one to CD is a very big achievement. To her, she believes that she's now known across Lagos and many other across the world. So this gives her the impetus to think that she is actually somebody that is successful, somebody that is known, somebody that is above every other person in the village of Elonjoli. So she is not ready to give in to very small things. Okay, so she becomes very defensive. In fact, when Sedi Sadiku comes with the message of Baroka's intention to have her as her wife, she tells Sadiku clearly that she is not willing to get married to the man. Even when she is invited to participate, in the feast that is organized for her at the palace, she turns it down on the grounds that the king is somebody, the Baal is somebody that is fond of the habit of always using that opportunity to get another wife, and she doesn't want to be a party to that. She turns it down. Okay, in the process of turning it down, she does not only say, no, I'm not going there, no, I don't want him. She also compares a picture to that of the Baals in the magazine, whose picture appears only in a very small corner that he shares with a dugout latrine. You know, to him, to her, that is to show that the Baal is not important. And she also protests that she's not in, she will not marry the Baal, because the Baal to her is very old. And Lankuli is at the scene, and he objects and uses all sorts of words. In fact, he's somebody that is fond of the habit of using harsh words on not just Sadiku, but also on Sedi, the woman he says he truly loves. For instance, when Sadiku gets a chat with her, he bluntly tells Sadiku that she's old but full. In fact, she has got to take a space in her school, because she has not tasted the bits of Western education. So to him, Western education is just the best for everything. With your tradition or whatsoever, to Ladiku, you're nothing. Lankuli, you're nothing. You see? So at this stage, Sadiku finally decides to take the message to the Baal. And when he goes to the Baal, at that scene, the favorite of the Baal at that moment is saying gently on taking, the cleaning the armpits, taking off the air in the Baal's armpits. First he would massage the place, she will massage the place gently and take unroot it. And at this particular time, when she realizes that the Baal wants to take another wife that will automatically become the favorite, she take out the thing roughly, and this sends out a picture of jealousy. The favorite does not want to miss her position at all. But when this woman comes, by then they were in bed, they were in the room, and the playwright says he's naked except for a bra, the shorts that he was putting on. And then at this particular time, the woman comes, that was Sadiku, to give the Baal the message that Sedi has actually turned down the proposal. Okay, as swift as the man as swift as he is, as smart as he is, he decides not to not to show a picture of her being of his being disturbed or whatsoever. He tells the woman that, well, the rejection, the man's rejection, the lady's rejection is actually on point.
I'll put you in front of my melody. You are all that matters. You are all that matters.
He's now impotent. So Ladiku, if a Sedi would have accepted him, he should have been somebody that he should have, seen himself in shame. So the decision of Sedi to him is a wise one. So he, however, tells Sadiku not to discuss that with anybody, because it will expose him to shame, to public ridiculing, and so. So this woman, Sadiku goes out. That's the last part. That's the night scene, the night part of the book. Goes out and discusses the same thing, you know, she goes on dancing. She's seen dancing, you know, happily, like singing, you know, speaking some words, you know. In fact, to Sadiku, it is victory on the side of women. She holds the view that men are people that are very wicked. Even though they have this woman, they're still going for others. And to her, that's the same thing that Baoka's father, Okiki, did. Okay, and because by then she was a woman that was very young and she has the strength, she used her strength to scorch Okiki, which eventually leads to Okiki's death. But the question is this actually a wise conclusion? Because the allegation, the statement of Baroka ends up to be a deceitful one, because it was actually not factual. We'll come to know that when we forge ahead. And then at this particular time, what happens? Baroka, okay, Sadi continues dancing, 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 and sorry, Baroka, Sadiku continues dancing and dancing and dancing, and then, you know, talking all sorts of words, and then Baroka Sidi becomes impatient and asks her, "What's the problem?" Said, "A man that has said he wants to marry you is now, you know, impotent. He's not like some. He does not function anymore. He can't perform his manly duty." And Sidi also sees this as a victory on the side of women, and she decides to pounce hardly on Baroka by going to Baroka's place, pretending as if she has not discussed anything with Sadiku, to go ridicule the man, you know. And Sadiku at first says, "No, don't go," but as Sedi gives her their full assurance that she will not state anything like they have seen before. And on that excuse, she's granted the permission to go, and she goes to the place. At the place, Baroka is seen wrestling with one of his wrestlers. Okay, and at this scene, Baroka Sedi just enters the place and sees the two men fighting and wrestling. Okay, at this particular time, the Bale Baroka questions, how does she actually get in there if she doesn't see anybody that could have prevented her from entering? To him, his wrestling match with his warriors, or with his wrestlers, should not be seen by another person. And Sedi says, "Yes, you know, I didn't see anybody." And he asks, "Where are the others?" And this comes, this brings to light the effect of westernization. You know, the Bale has enormous respect. To me, he has enormous respect for Lankuli, to the extent that when Lankuli tells him that in the city, your workers should be given the freedom to go on leave, you know, Baroka does not think of his security anymore. He allows them, his security men, to go on leave. And in fact, it is he, Lankuli, that prompts the formation of the union or whatsoever. This is the book. And you see, he allows all of them to go. He's only left with his wrestler, his favorites, whose sandals were at the door, but what do I call her? Sedi says she does not see the woman. So at this stage, what happens? Lankuli, Baroka stops the wrestling and comes to Sedi to discuss with her. And during the discussion, we see the eruption of a question and answer session. Okay, this is the method that Sedi uses to actually know, to actually arrive at her stage of ridiculing the man, provoking the man. She starts asking questions like, if And in the first place, she says, Baroka, assuming you were my father, would you have given me to a man that that has many wives? You know, some of these questions. And then Baroka is somebody that is very smart because he knows he wants the woman, and any negative answer to this question will bring about the woman's rejection of him. So he gives a very suitable answer that pleases the 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 the, uh, 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 the lady. Say, well, it depends, but let me ask you a few questions. And now the question here now is Baroka. Baroka starts asking, and you know this particular scene tells us that Baroka is not a bad king. He's not a bad king because the responses from Lankuli, sorry, Sedi, sends out the picture that he is actually a very good king, although he's polygamous. He's a man that prepares for the future, because there are some questions that are asked, and the answers given are answers that actually send out a very good picture of Baroka. For instance, Baroka asked, wait, if I could ask, is the man mean or what? And Sedi's response is that she's not, to strangers, he's not. And then to people around him, they cannot tell. Something like that. You know, that was a very good that was a very good feature of Baroka. And also he asked, if is the man rich? And Baroka said yes. They said he's rich. Sorry, said he said yes, he's rich. They say he's rich, and rumor has it that he's rich or whatsoever. So after these questions, finally, Baruka ends up, telling Sedi that, you see this task, this tax you are seeing here, a receipt that is used for that is issued out after paying. I will show you face is on this, and this amazes Sedi to the extent she gets her head on Baroka's shoulder, and light fades there, and we see people on the street dancing and chatting heartily. That's Sadiku, Lankuli, and some drummers. And here, because there are some questions like, what are the importance of discuss the importance of music in the book. You see here, um, the playwright brings to us the importance of music as well. So when Lankuli sees the people, he just wanted them to go because he does not believe the tradition, and he just wants them to go. Now what happens is, Sadiku tells him, say, bro, can you call these people, let them sing for you, so that you have peace, you'll be happy. So music is a source of happiness to the people. And he says, no, he doesn't need music. Okay, because he has, since Sedi goes to the bail, things remain as the eye has not seen her, and he becomes very worried about that. So like, he starts questioning, oh, I just wish he does not do him bad, this man is wicked, he's this, he's that, he's that. Okay, Baroka, Lankuli is not somebody, to me, if I could, if now this time here in the, they get to man, because he's somebody that does not really focus on his good parts. He only focuses on the edges, the rough edges of his rival. Each time he sits to discuss with Sedi, he will be like, Sedi, Baroka is corrupt. Can you imagine some when the Ministry of Works came to construct a railway, this, that, something like that? What has that got to do to convince Sedi to love you? Why don't you come out, Sedi, if I get you, I'll do this, I'll do that. I'm trying to go by what the woman wants, but unfortunately, he just believes in his education, and he keeps using series of jargons in the book, to the extent even the least somebody in the village, according to Baruch Sedi, calls him a fool. So he's like discussing with this woman, and shortly after, we see Sedi Sedi enters the scene, and at this scene, now what happens? Sedi takes to the floor and she wails bitterly, and then Sadiku tries to console her. What's the problem? And she concludes that maybe Sadiku, Baroka might have beaten Sedi. You know, to me, Sadiku is one of those bad women you can think of in a play. She's one of those bad women. She's a woman that sends out a picture that women are not to be trusted, irrespective of how, good they are. You should not trust them completely. It is Sadiku that sends out that picture, because the man has bestowed his trust on him, saying, I can't tell you this, but not go tell person, I beg to forgo. And she goes out and tells somebody about it. That's a show of distrust. You see, even if she were a sober woman, a very good woman, she wouldn't have been that woman that would have boasted of the death of her husband, Okiki. Say, I used my strength. Each time I called on him, he would come with his strength, and I used mine until I squashed him. What's that? He's a lady that sends out a picture of those women that are not to be trusted. And in fact, if she were a better lady, she wouldn't have been the person that would have danced of victory when she realizes that her husband is impotent in quotation anyway, because the man is actually not impotent. He uses that to convince, to prompt, because that guy, that lady, the king knows, will surely go out there and tell Sedi about it. So now Sedi discusses with Sedi tells them that that man is a rogue, that man is a criminal. He knows that Sadiku will not keep the secret. That is why he tells Baroka that he's impotent, and if Baroka tells any lady, that particular maiden will go to confirm whether what she is actually claiming is true or not, and of course to ridicule the babe. And that is exactly what Sedi did. And to her greatest surprise, she ended up losing her virginity to the man. And when she comes in the floor, crying, and protesting, Lankoli is seen at the scene, and then he invokes, he calls on God to kill him straight up, because he says he cannot stand the pain. And he also prays that the floor be opened. And this particular part questions Lankuli's rejection of the tradition, because even after he has said he does not want to live anymore, he says, let the god of what, let Songo be out of this, something like that. This, maybe to some extent he believes that these small gods have power to inflict problem on him. So that's why he says, let this particular God be out of this. It is my cross, and let me carry it. To him, it is clear that he has some respect for those people, for those lesser gods that the people of Elimjoli believe in. And now that he has understood that Sadiku is no longer a maiden, that's somebody that has not had sex before, he finally tells Sadiku that Sedi that, you know what, I don't want you to be angry. Let us put aside the past, and let us take an oath. Let us swear by the gods that amongst us, in the presence of Sadiku, that we will keep this as a secret, and you will get married to me. If you get married to me, I will surely keep this as a secret. But however, I will not pay your bride price, because you are no longer eligible. You are not fit to get a bride price, because you have lost your virginity. So this one, to very clear, it is also very clear that Lankuli holds the view that bride price are only to be paid for ladies that are virgins. Okay, for ladies that are virgin. So virgins. So if this lady, if this man truly believes in that, why does he refuse at the start of the play when the lady is a virgin? Why does he refuse to pay? You see, there are series of complications, questions that are supposed to be answered by us, the readers of the text. So here, at this particular stage, the man becomes, the lady says, "Hey, will you marry me?" Said yes. "Will you?" Yes. And she gets up, rushes home, and Lankoli instructs or pleads with Sadiku to go and inspect, to go and find out what actually has gone wrong. What is she going to do at home? And when Lankoli goes to the place, Sadiku goes to the place, she finds out that Sidi is packing her things as though she were getting herself prepared for marriage. Okay, and then finally, this man thinks it is he that the lady is going to get married to, and he begins to think, a man needs to prepare. I cannot just get married today. I am single today, and tomorrow I was single yesterday, and today I get married. No, I'm not sure. And in fact, I have to seek my students' consent. This also tells us his love for education. You know, his love for education. He says, I think I have to seek my student consent. What would they feel about it if I were married? What's it? How can I just get married? To me, I also have to hire praise singers. How can I just get married just like that? You know, so he begins to get things complicated, twist, moving here and there, and then finally, some dance troops came, and some dance troops enter the scene, and then we see Sedi being followed. Okay, and she reaches Lankoli. She tells Lankoli, "You know what? If you want, you can follow me. You are invited to my marriage." And he becomes very defensive, you know, tries to block Sedi's way, and Sedi tells him that if he actually thinks she will stand the test of having sex with another man after she has already had sex with one person, no, she will not have sex with another man because she already has gotten sex with the Baal, whom, according to her, is very strong. At 60, he could do something great. And to Sedi, she believes that if Lankoli reaches the age of 60, he would have died 10 years before. So that speaks volume of the fact that you know, she's also been impressed by the man's strength in bed, you know, because she speaks very good things about the man, you know, and she condemns or she can I say she loathes L-O-A-T-H-E Sedi's Lankuli's, you know, laziness, because she does not believe Lankuli will be as strong as the Baal Baroka at that particular stage. And finally, Sedi ends up getting married to Baroka, who is the lion, and Sedi being the jewel. Thank you.
Gotta catch 'em all.